Boom. Welcome back to the technical difficulty free episode 54
Hopefully, dog. Don't jinx
of
it.
the TNEC cast. Your man Shuff with the man, the weapon K. And like we always say, it's the TNEC cast. We joke about that. We recorded last week, and unfortunately, there was a technical difficulty, and we lost that video forever.
It's gone
So
forever.
now we back. We remixing 54, talking about some stuff. Like we always do, talk about different things. But like we always say, like, comment, subscribe, click below for TNEC on demand. That thing is growing at a great speed, and we're getting more and more content up. So please make sure you're tapping into that. And my favorite question, okay? How you feeling, brother?
I'm chilling, my man. I'm chilling. Um, Prep is going, work is going, being a dad is going. Just one day at a time, man. I know that's the truth, man. One day at a time.
Real quick,
But
I just don't want to forget to say this. I don't want to cut you off. You said being a dad. Happy birthday to Marcus. His birthday is today. He
happy
turned
birthday, my
turned
boy.
11 today. So when we post, it'll be the day after. But happy birthday to my oldest son, DeMarcus. Okay,
So I
sorry. Go
got a
ahead.
question.
Yes,
So this
yes.
is something that like another dad brought to my attention. It's like whenever they're getting older, you're getting older as well. Does that hit? Because that hit me hard.
It does. But you never know when it's gonna hit.
Hmm.
Because like it just be different things. Because he looks a lot like me,
Hmm.
but he's also because he's mixed, so he's a lot lighter than me. So look, I was like. And it just drives me. It's just like, damn, because I'm 38 and I got an 11-year-old. So that's not that big of a difference. I'm just like, wait a second. It does mess with your mind
Hmm.
because it brings mortality and different things, which is
Right.
why you do this cast. Tell people to take care of themselves because you
Hmm.
said, man, like they gonna if you doing your job, they gonna grow and everything like that. Then go and that circle changes, man. That cycle, you go from taking
Yeah.
care of them to them taking care of you. So yeah, it definitely hits. It definitely hits.
And I think this is also a good motivation for this cast is because they can watch this whenever. You know what I mean? This is going to be up forever.
Yep.
So it's like, hey, what did Pop say about rest and recovery, dog? But yes, today we're going to be talking about rest and recovery, which is very important because I'm working 14. I leave the house at 4 in the morning and I don't come back until 8:30. So I'm working. It's prep lifestyle work. Um, uh, and then I gotta prep my meals and I gotta go to sleep within the next 30 minutes. And I gotta, say what up to my daughter, say what up to my wife in 30 minutes. So I have to jam everything in just so I can get ample amount of rest. All right, it's one of those things where you just have to make things just fit for you. So, Isaac, have you felt like you had to prioritize a certain part of your life just to get a little bit more rest in, or how important is rest?
all the time because so number one, rest. Like you especially as you get older, you learn how important it is. And the thing, because when you're young, right, or younger, rest is still important at that point. But you just because the way we're designed, you recover quicker when you're younger. It just is what it is. When you get to be my age at 38, I don't care how great a shape you're in, you're not recovering the same way you did when you're 28, when you were 25, obviously when you were 18. So it's important. So the ways that I've done it, and I'll say this, I freely say this, one of the best things about getting COVID as bad as I had it was it really put in perspective rest. It really put in perspective, you got to slow down sometimes, you know. So what I do is I try to schedule it just because I work so much off of a schedule. I try to schedule it, So, right now I've been doing every 6 weeks, I do a deload week where I'm just letting myself, like my deload this week, 30 minutes of light cardio and then abs and then no full blown lifting,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So sometimes we think when we hear the word rest, some people think that means you're on the couch all day, not doing anything. No. Rest just means you're taking in some cases, you're just taking a step back. Sometimes it's taking 2 full days off. Don't do no cardio, don't do anything. It just depends on your situation and everything like that. But a lot of it is scheduling it out. And you have to be true to your schedule. You have to respect yourself and respect your calendar. Because it's easy to put something in your calendar, but it's another thing to actually do it. And I used to be like that, man, especially when I was in sales. And I think it didn't matter because I wasn't working for myself at that point. I put all these things in my calendar. Oh, yeah, I'm going to read it this time. Man, I ended up blowing past all those things. But now, I really, honor my, the calendar, because rest is so important, because when I take these deload weeks, my physique gets better. Like every single time taking a deload week, my physique got better. And it just goes to show, because now your body's actually able to rest and repair, and things like that. And we just take it for granted, So okay, with you being younger.
Hold on 1 second. I need context. How many days in the gym are you?
6.
6 days. 6 days a week.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Because like you definitely grinding your body down. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So like,
oh yeah.
It's one of those things where if you're hitting the gym for like 3 days a week, I would argue that you really don't need a deload.
No.
You know,
No.
that shouldn't even be on your radar or your vocabulary. But it's more like that 5-6 days a week of just literally grinding. On top of that, cardio, because I know yesterday my feet was killing me. Because I was walking on a treadmill, the bottoms of my soles was hurting. But yeah, what was your question?
Oh, so I would say with you being younger, how do you? Well, I said not so much with you being younger, but I'm kind of framing it up because your perspective is going to be a little bit different than mine. How do you approach rest and rest while you're at the gym, like in between sets, and rest as a whole, rest and recovery?
Rest and recovery, I'll attack that first. It's more so of just me sitting my behind down somewhere, right? So like on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I'm not at work. So I usually capitalize that time with a nap. So like I just woke up from a nap. Yesterday I took a nap as well. And it's just like, just sit down. Because I'm not sitting down. I get busy and I'm like, okay, like, I'm going to do something. I'm going to get into some type of trouble, right? And also I try to aim for that 7 hours of sleep on my work days and more 8 to 10 on my off days. Just to stay in bed. You already checked all your boxes. Just get a little bit, because especially in competition prep, you lose a lot of weight sleeping. You know what I mean? Like you would just have a massive drop after a real good night of sleep. I don't understand the science of it. I really, this is anecdotal. But like if I sleep for a good little bit, dog, I wake up
You
2-3
know the
times.
science behind that?
What is it?
So basically, a lot of times you see somebody, right? No matter why they're losing weight, you kind of like, where the hell did it all go? You know what I mean? Like, you can't figure that out. So basically, I'm not going to go too granular, but dead fat cells, they stay in your bloodstream because basically what happens as they die, sometimes they fill back up with water. Sometimes they don't. Each fat cell is different. Most of those fat cells, yes, you can pee them out, poop them out, and sweat them out, but actually most of the time you breathe them out. So when you're sleeping and you're not technically burning, well, you're sort of burning calories, you're breathing it out. That's what that is. You're breathing out those dead fat cells. And think about that. You're doing that especially if you're sleeping for 8, 9, 10 hours. Think about how many breaths you take.
Yeah, you're just sitting there.
Yep. So that's why.
The more you know, right? Little gym right there. But rest inside the gym, I have like a little checklist, right? It goes like, okay, is my breathing normalized? So let's say squats. It won't be normalized for the next like 90 to 2 minutes. How's my joints? Do I need a little bit more rest? Do I need to literally sit down for another 30, 45 seconds? And then let's say, how's the lactic acid? So I go down this list. How's the pump? And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm ready to go. All right, let's go. But if my breathing is not normalized, that means one, my cardiovascular health is poo-poo. So I probably need to work on that, because it's limiting my training. Those go hand to hand, right? So if it isn't normalized, okay, I would have to sit down and wait till it is normalized. I don't have a set rest time. If I had to guess, it was probably like 90, like on all exercises. It would be like from 90 seconds to like 3 minutes. And the 2 to 3 minutes is more so on leg days. And like the 90 is just like, let's say like the delts or arms, whatever.
So I know why, but I'm going to ask you why. Why? Because to some people listening, that may sound like a long time to rest. Because we got people that think 20 to 30 seconds is enough rest in between sets. So
Sure.
why like when you're taking that time, like what made you decide to take those time frames?
I'm a firm believer that a strong muscle is a big muscle, right? And every time I step in the gym, I need to hit a PR, right? Does it happen all the time? Do I PR on one set? Yeah. 4 sets? Sure, you know. But with that extra rest time, you're replenishing your ATP levels. You are ready to go again. I mean, you can go 30 seconds. I mean, it depends on your goals as well. If you're trying to lose weight, hey, if you stay at, your heart rate at 140 the entire session, more power to you. You're going to get the job done. But I'm in a building like physiques, right? And in physiques, I need to have the most output on my exercises. Mm-hmm. So if I need to take the time, I will take the time. And then I'll address later of why I took so much time. But also, I can cut those rest periods shorter because that's another form of progressive overload. So I can go from 3 to 2. Whether I match it, that's the thing. I progressed because I didn't need to recover that longer.
But so another thing to kind of, piggyback off of that, right? So the reason why I'm gonna kind of speak for Kay in this for a sec, because I know what he does in the gym. He lifts heavier, even during prep. It's not like, okay, so now it's prep, I'm gonna lighten the load. It's not that, and that's fine. It works. So, so the thing is, right? Especially more so in prep. The first couple of sets, you might only need a minute 30 to relax. Jesus Christ, to rest. But now, set 3 is done. Now you're just, whoo, that won't really whoop me. Now you take 2 minutes. That's okay. And that's where, again, this is where understanding what you're doing and having the proper mindset of, that means, hey, that was a really damn good set that I just had. I want to have another one of those. So let me take a little bit longer to, as Kyrie mentioned, kind of like the checklist, heart rate, breathing, lactic acid, joints, so I can try to duplicate what I just did. You may or may not be able to do that, but put yourself in a position to do it. When you're trying to blast through, and I have a lot of people that talk to me about that, and they're trying to blast through, you are cheating yourself. You are cheating yourself. Now, Kyrie also mentioned something very important into building physiques. So time under tension, time under tension is one of the most important things, because now, understand this, when you didn't get enough rest time, now you're going to fatigue faster in that set. So now those reps, you're going to cheat on those reps and you're going to lose time under tension. And it's going to negatively impact because I always tell my clients and our athletes this: once you touch that weight, it's game time. Before that, you won't be on whatever. But once you touch that weight, that's sacred time. You only have X amount of time to touch that weight. So it's very sacred time. So you got to make sure when you touch that weight, you're ready. You're ready to go heavy again. You're ready to attack a PR. There's no weakness because you were doing a minute 30. Now you did 2 minutes and 30 seconds rest because you said, hey, I really want to duplicate what I just did. Now, on the flip side of it, Kyrie mentioned, if I have somebody that's trying to train for like a 10K or a marathon or something like that, I'm shortening their rest times, and they're going to be doing way more sets, but at lighter weights, because what we're trying to do is get your body and your muscles used to working with low oxygen levels. That's different. Understand your goals. That's something Kyrie said at the beginning when we were first talking about this. Understand your goals so you can ensure your training matches your goals. As a bodybuilder, you are not going to train like a marathon runner. As a marathon runner, you're not going to train like a bodybuilder just because you're both in the gym. And honestly, you can almost be doing the same exercises, but you're doing it with different different reps. Obviously different weights, different speeds, different. There's a lot of difference. So then the other thing, okay, I'm going to talk about this, but then toss it to you. So like when I'm setting up workouts, right, the way I set them up for clients and myself. The rest time to me is always a minimum. So that's why I say, hey, that's your minimum time you should be resting. So one thing that I do on the compound exercises, unless it's looking like you're in a situation where you might be going a little bit lighter because of the rep count, I'm going to give you more rest on the compounds versus, so I'm going to give you more rest on bench, shoulder press, squats than I would on leg extensions or curls. Just because your body should recover faster on those, because those are small. Well, not necessarily leg extensions being a smaller muscle group, different amount of load, and things like that. So do you adjust your rest time based on exercises, or like what is your philosophy like when you're kind of looking at the rest time outside of the checklist?
Um, the answer is no, right? Because it's like, how am I feeling that day? So if I do need a 2 minute rest period in between bicep curls, then that's a problem that I need to address. Like I see that as a problem. Like what's going on? Is it too hot in the gym? Do I need to take my damn hoodie off? These are like, and then I have to address it. But it's kind of like, since you're like you said, you're incorporating more muscle groups squatting than you do doing a leg extension. It's just like you inherently need that more time. It's way more taxing on your CNS, your central nervous system. So that's where you have to, don't go Billy Badass and just be like, well, I'll just do 10 sets of 10 and I'll have 30-second rest. And because if you're really, I can only speak for building physiques, right? If you truly are trying to put on muscle, if you can do 10 sets of 10 and 30 seconds rest, you aren't really pushing it. Like, you're not pushing it and taking your body to somewhere where it's never been before. Because guaranteed, like, you have 25s on each side. The first 10 is easy. And then you go second one, 10. And also, side note, I was supposed to say earlier, rest times should also coincide with the amount of sets you do, and that should relate to how much time you want to spend in the gym.
Yes.
So if you do 4 sets and you have a 2-minute rest for each of those 4 sets, plus the warm-ups on 6 different exercises, that's a long time. That's why most of the time, like, I'd rarely go over 3 sets on movements. Right. I rarely even touch 3 sets. It's more like a top set, back off set, and it's 2, especially on compounds. So you also have to be very mindful of how much time do I want to spend in the gym. Do I need to make it faster? Then you just make it work.
Yep. And speaking of that, so this is where you shouldn't sacrifice rest when doing that, but you have to really think and be smart. So if you say, hey, I only have 40 minutes a day to be in the gym, don't be an idiot and try to squeeze 10 exercises into 40 minutes. Now, if you're doing 2 reps each exercise, I mean, look, this ain't some place of judgment and being like, hey, I'm talking to the lay person that's been working out for 3 to 6 months and they're trying to find their way through this fitness journey. This is who I'm talking to. If you have 40 minutes, that's fine. You should, like, if you do 4 exercises, there's no shame in taking 10 minutes on each exercise, because you can get a lot of work done, especially if it's mainly compound movements and you're giving yourself about 1.5 minutes to rest. That's a solid workout. And I implore people, Kyrie, are you in the gym longer than 1.5 hours?
Minus cardio, yeah, I'm out hour 15 max.
So you got to get this whole thing out of your head, especially as a novice / lay person lifter, that you need to be in there 2 and 3 hours. It's just a myth. It's about your intensity, and that's part of rest time. Rest time can make can up the intensity for you. Because now you're working fatigued muscles. Now also be careful, because if you're really trying to push that weight, you can get hurt. That's another thing that you got to remember. If you do, because I always bring this up. In football, there's a reason why most of the injuries happen in the second half, because people are tired. And that's the same thing with all sports. If you look at the data, most injuries happen in the second half just because, and it's a direct, I won't say causation, but correlation with fatigue, being tired and things like that. But back to, kind of what I was saying. So if you got that 40 minutes, don't cheat the rest and think, oh, okay, well, this week I got 4 exercises in, but if I cut my rest, I can do 5. No, take what you have and just go hard with it. You'd be surprised how much you can do with just 4 exercises at the gym. You'd be surprised, you know. But adhere to those rest times. Make sure that, and again, I like to say use them as minimums. I know there have been times where I've said take 45 to 60 seconds. If you're not ready by 60 seconds, oh well, you got to go. But there's a purpose behind that. And sometimes sometimes when you're in prep, especially as you're getting closer to the show, I want your muscles to be able to work when you're fatigued. Because there are some people you can tell they look great, but you let them be up there posing for longer than a minute, everything goes bye-bye because they're tired. Their muscles get oxygen depleted. And all that goodness is gone. So there's a lot of different things that you can use rest times for. But, again, for the novice lay person, don't try to be a speeding bullet through your workout and thinking that you did something, because you more than likely have left a lot on the table just because you're trying to, okay, I'm good. And then, it's been 6 months and you still look the same because you're never allowing your body to get to that next level, So Kyrie, you kind of talked about, somebody's going to the gym, 3 days a week, and they shouldn't rest. Let's dive into that real quick. And this is good because if any of our, our lifestyle people are listening to this, you really need to understand why. And part of what I'm going to say before I give it to Kyrie, like, even if you are going balls out on those 3 days, you have enough time to truly recover. You just have enough time to truly recover, because I have people, it's funny, they base everything off of soreness. If they're too sore, they won't go to the gym. But if they're not sore enough, they will feel like they did not work hard enough. Mm-hmm. And like, you can't have it both ways. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be like, as steady lifters. We're just. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually happy when I'm sore. Come on, ooh, something new happened. Something new happened. So since you're back into training and coaching and everything like that, talk a little bit more. Go a little more in depth about that.
So like you already hit the nail on the head, man. It's like, if you're in the gym, let's say Monday, right? Let's say you do a push-pull legs, and you have, the next time you hit push, you have 7 days. That's a painfully long time. You know what I mean? Well, like split-wise, right? Mm-hmm. If your chest isn't recovered by the next time you hit push, there's a problem, and that's a problem. It might be with the workout. Maybe it's way too much.
Yep.
Or you're not eating your meals, or your recovery is complete trash. Like, you are not sleeping. So, I mean, dog, I think I just stand by my statement. You don't need it. You don't need it, and to like not get all nerdy and stuff like that. It's just like, you're not in there long enough. Mm-hmm. 4 days a week, maybe. Dorian was in the gym 4 days a week, and I guarantee you, I don't think even 1% of bodybuilders train like that. I don't even think 0.001% of people on this earth that train like that. 5 days a week, now we can talk about it. 6 days a week, you're damn sure you're taking a deload week. And this is one of those things where it's just like, you said you plan yours like every 6 weeks. You would take one. Me personally, I would just go off feel, right? Mm-hmm. So if I feel like I don't need it, then I can go, right? And this is all about honesty as well. I'm not too honest with myself whenever I say like, "Hey, dog, I need to sit down. I need to take a break." Right. That's my thing. So, but it's like, hey, like, I am destroyed. Like, I'm sleeping at night, but I don't wake up refreshed. I wake up even more tired. Just like, I wonder why, dog. You need to sit down somewhere. You have to go back to checking your boxes. But there was something that you said that I wanted to touch on too, but I totally forgot. That's tough.
I hate when that happens.
Oh man. Oh man. But yeah. Please, for the love of God, take your time in the gym and make the sets count. Because if you go in there and you be like, okay, I have 30 sets of whatever, right? You can tend to half-ass 15 of them. And you only get half of the work done. Half of the work done. Get those effective reps. Only about building physiques, right? Lifestyle, go in there and kill it, guys. Just move your bodies, right? But if you realize, like, hey, talking about spending more time in the gym. Got it. So, if you can spend 2 hours in the gym, this wrench, okay. If you can spend 2 hours in the gym, where did you come from? If you can spend 2 hours in the gym, there's something wrong with your performance in the gym, right? So if your performance, like this is you entering the gym, right? If your performance doesn't go like this, then you're wrong. If you can sustain that for a long period of time, you're not training hard enough.
Or you're resting way
too long. You got the Twitter fingers.
Mm-hmm.
So for the people in there, like, yeah, I spent 2-3 hours in the gym. It's just like, dope. Doing what, man? You know,
In the machine talking to somebody.
Hey, baby girl, what you got squats today again? It's just like, dog, get in, get out, and make the sets count, please. That's one thing that I've seen on Instagram a lot, and I'm not one of those guys to be like, but please. If you are in there and you really are about this bodybuilding thing, and especially with the passing of Cedric McMillan, and you are in the enhanced field, it's like you have to make this count, man. TikTok, brother. Because not everyone can be a bodybuilder forever. Even naturally, you cannot be a bodybuilding forever. You have to start an exit plan and all that. You better make these days count. Mm-hmm. So this isn't, I'm be completely raw. This is time to fuck around. You go in there and you make those sets count. And you train incredibly hard. And you take your body to places where it's never been. You make those super supplements work. Because Cedric, he left behind some children.
Yep.
And a beautiful legacy for him. I'm not saying he's right or wrong, but he went in there and did this damn thing. Mm-hmm. Don't be one of those weirdos that look like you are completely natty and you're pumping your veins full of a gram of tren a week. It's weird. Alright?
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
So go in there, handle your business, and soak up knowledge. That's it. That's all I got.
Hey, that was a good closing, but I got to say this. I forgot it, and then I remembered it.
Send it.
You will not lose your gains if you rest.
Oh.
You come back better. I promise you. We all, I know the sign. I know it all. When I say I know it all, I'm not, I know everything. But what I'm saying is, like, I know, the things and everything like that. I still feel like that sometimes. Mm. I take a rest and I'm like, but I know Arias, I know Tibbs, I know Murph. They're not, I'm sitting there going like that, but they're resting too. Cause we know, but you can't help it. You think it, you know what I'm saying? You think it, but at the end of the day, you're not losing your gains. You're actually getting better. So always remember that. Attack rest the same way you attack the weights, the way you should be attacking your nutrition. If you attack them equally, you will get to where you want to go. That's why I'll leave my
money back guaranteed right there. Yeah. I'm going to put my soul in and be like, hey, yo, if you check all the boxes, you're going to build something remarkable. Mm-hmm. Natty, not natty, CrossFitter, powerlifter, you're going to do something great.
Yes.
Because not everyone's doing that, man.
Yes.
But all right. If you guys enjoyed this, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see more stuff like this, we have a Patreon in the description below. We answer a whole bunch of questions down there, a whole bunch of free game too. And also thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys are great.
What up?
But yeah, that's all I got. You got anything else, Isaac?
I'm good. Like, comment, subscribe, and season's about to be off on a roll, so you hear a lot more about what the team is doing and how the show is going. So just stay on this ride with us. We got a lot more to give you.
Until next time, guys. Peace out.